seats, please. Councillors, can you take your seats, please? Last call. Last call. Can everyone just please take their seats? We need to launch this meeting today. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Sorry about my voice. It's not normally like this, and my apologies. Kia ora koutou, and a very warm welcome to guests and elected members to the inaugural meeting of Council and Community Boards for the 25-28 triennium. Before I carry on with the meeting and the procedures, I would ask for a karakia from Chris Napier, please.
Tēnā tātou. E mihi ana ki te kaupapa o te pōhiri I te ata nei, he tika ka noho tangata whenua tātou katoa o tēnei whare no reira tēnā tātou, a kei inoi tātou. E ara tamanui e tū ki te pai mānuka, e rere tamanui e tau ki te whare tīrara, hiri te kūkune, hiri te pūpuke, hiri te mahara, hiri te wānanga, e rere te pūkenga, tau ki ita, tau ki tawhiti, tau te Māori, haumi e, hui e, tā ki e.
Kia ora, Chris. Just noting, present today is Mayor Denya, Councillors Beach, Dinsdale, Alvin, Daly, Joyce, Ray and Sol. And in attendance, I have the members of the Makatu Community Board, the Te Puke Eastern Community Board, Waihi Beach Community Board, Karikari Community Board and Omokoroa Kaimai Community Board. Apologies. I note the apologies from both Councillor Coxhead and Councillor Murray-Benge. Consideration of late items. There are no known late items. Declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest? There being no declarations of interest, I'll move on to the public forum, and there are no public forum speakers. Now we move to the formal part of the proceedings and the declaration. So could I invite Your Worship the Mayor, and the Mayor is to come up to the podium. The Mayor is about to make his declaration.
I, James Denya, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of Western Bay of Plenty District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as Mayor of the Western Bay of Plenty District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Dated at Tauranga this 5th day of November 2025.
Congratulations. Just a round of applause, please. Thank you.
So I'm going to say a few words before I call up each councillor to say their declaration. Tēnā koutou katoa, ka nui te mihi kia koutou nā tangata whenua o Ngāi Tamarau aho hapu mei te rangatira tamati. He mihi anō ki a koe on mō nā mihi mauha I tēnei rā. I wish a warm welcome to everyone here today and those watching on live stream. Thank you to the mana whenua of Ngāi Tamarau aho for welcoming us. I acknowledge Mayor Drysdale and Mayor Tunui. Great to see you here, and I look forward to continuing to work closely with you both. I want to thank all those who once again put their faith in me to lead and deliver for our district. I'm humbled to be your mayor once again. I thank my partner, Sarah Jane, who has given me valued support, particularly in what has been a busy and exciting year for us with a new baby. Little Hugo's beaming smile at the end of a tough day is just magic. It's not quite the typical response from meeting one of our residents, but I'll take it as a win. I would also like to thank my sons, Casper and Felix, for their ongoing support, but unfortunately they can't be here today due to college and university exams. Today is the start of a new council, so congratulations to all those who have been elected to represent our district. I acknowledge new councillors, Darlene Dinsdale, Graham Elvin and Shane Beach, and I acknowledge returning councillors, Alan Soul, Rodney Joyce, Margaret Maybenge, Tracy Coxhead, Laura Ray and Grant Daly. I also wish to pay tribute to our outgoing councillors, Anne Henry, Murray Granger, Don Thwaites, Andy Wickers and John Scrimger, and thank them for their service. Unfortunately, Margaret and Tracy could not make it today, but I hope they get to watch the video and feel part of this ceremony. As we are sworn in alongside our community board members, I want to reinforce how much of an honour and privilege it is to be an elected member and given the trust of the people of our district. It has been said by many that the last term was one of the toughest ever experienced in local government. Inflationary pressures, a tough economic environment, water reform and changing government priorities all contributed to a difficult landscape for us to navigate whilst attempting to take our communities with us and continue to make progress. It has not been easy. And yet there's much still ahead of us. Implementation of local order done well, resource management reforms, finalising a regional deal, and an expectation of a reset of the structure and functions of local government, alongside the likelihood of a constraint over our revenue via rate capping, just some of the challenges that are likely to face us this term. Against this backdrop, we must work hard to earn and build trust from our community. I know that each and every one of you is here to do the best you possibly can for our people. We might sometimes disagree on how that might be achieved, but you are here to seek better outcomes, to make a difference, and I'll support you in doing that. We need to work as a cohesive team, not just as a team of 10 around this table, but across our 5 community boards, which now cover just about all our district. As we work together, support each other, and try our very best to advocate, represent, and deliver for our district, I want us to operate at the highest levels of good governance and guide our council and staff to achieve great things together. 3 years ago, I declared that I wished my mayoralty to be marked by collaboration, communication, and delivery. Those priorities have not changed. Looking back, I believe the collaboration we've enjoyed with our neighbour, Tauranga City, and across the Bay of Plenty region has been strong. We've also continued to make progress, good progress, with relationships with our tangata whenua partners. Communication is always a challenge, and the rise of social media has been both a blessing and an obstacle to informing our community of what we do, what we want to do, and why. I have some new initiatives planned in this area, so look out for some improvements there. But for me, delivery is what ultimately matters. These last 3 years, great projects such as the Waihi Beach Library, elder housing in Katikati, the replacement bridge on number 4 Road into Puke, and the nearly complete Omokura roundabout. Now I look forward to the next 3 years, and I think the East in particular will see some major investment. Kicking off with the new Te Puke wastewater treatment plant, our largest capital expenditure to date. The regional deal also promises to help achieve some long-standing infrastructure goals. These are exciting times, and I'm privileged to be serving our community for the next 3 years. Mātou tātou iwi for our people. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. So I will now call up each councillor to make and attest their declarations. Councillors may take their oath in Te Reo Māori or English. So first up, Councillor Shane Beach.
I, Shane William Beach, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interest of the Western Bay of Plenty District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Western Bay of Plenty District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act dated at Tauranga, this 5th day of November 2025.
Okay, thank you, Shane. I'd now invite you to say a few words if you'd like to do so.
Thank you, Mayor James. Yeah, as most of you know, I am the new boy on the block with a couple of others. I'm also probably known as the councillor that listens the most and speaks the least. But I'm not going to break that today. But what I will certainly do is acknowledge my family, my friends, and the people that have put me in this position to represent them for the next 3 years. So all I will promise is I will do my best for the district as the best I can. Thank you.
I now call upon Councillor Darlene Dinsdale.
Morena tatai. Kua hau ko Darlene Lilia Te Waipuhi a Dinsdale. E o ati ana ka whai a hau I te pono me te tōkeke I runga hoki I te mutunga kia mai nei o aku pukinga. O aku whakatau hoki kia whakatūtuki kia mahi anō hoki I te mana whakahaere, te mana whakatau, me ngā momo mahi kua uhia ki runga I au. Kia whiwhia painga mo te takiwa mai ngā kuria whārei ki o te marako ki te uru. Hei kai kaunihira o te kaunihira ārohe mai ngā kuria whārei ki o te marako ki te uru. E ai hoki ki te ture kawanatanga a taio rua mano marua, ki te ture kawanatanga a taio whakapai, me te hui tahi mano iwa rau waru tukau mawhitu, me etahi turea no rānei. He mea whakau, tēnei kia tauranga, I tēnei rā rima o whiringa ārangi I te tau 2015.
Say a few words, darling.
Morena tātou, tēnei ka mahi ki a koutou I tai mai te tautoko I a mātou. Engari, ko te mea tuatai me mahi kia tika ki tōku whānau. Me tōku hapu me ngā iwi o Tauranga Moana o Te Arawa hoki. I runga I tērā, rite ki ngā kōrero o taku kiritahi a Maika, ka werohea tēnei tariwha, ka tūmaro, ka tūhumare e hoki. Nō reira, tēnā tātou katoa.
Next up, I'd like to ask Grant Daly to come and say his declaration, please.
I, Grant Daly, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of Western Bay of Plenty District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Western Bay of Plenty District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987 or any other act, dated at Tauranga this 5th day of November 2025. Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking and unprepared to do this particular speech because I forgot we had the offer, but anyway, I made a few notes. Welcome everyone, kia ora koutou. And first of all, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of my daughter today, Portia, over here, videoing me. And also put in apologies for my wife who just couldn't get the time off work, unfortunately. But first of all, I'd like to acknowledge the election campaign. I thought that was a really great, respectful process. I was running for mayor, obviously, and so I got to travel a little bit further afield than I normally do during an election campaign. And I really enjoyed the opportunity to go and talk to the people from a campaign platform in Waihi Beach, Karikari, Ohauiti, as well as our own district in the east. And I really enjoyed that process. I met a lot of the community board candidates and other council candidates who missed out. And I encourage anyone who did miss out, or they might have been successful for a community board, but maybe didn't make it to council, and encourage them to work hard over the next 3 years, and your time will come if you're truly committed to this this calling. And finally, the voters, everyone who voted for me, whether it was for mayor or for councillor, I really appreciate the support. And I'd like to acknowledge now that we're seeing the ward-wide community boards come to fruition. I know there was some pushback against that, and we've retained the Makatu Community Board and the Karikari and the Waihi Beach Community Boards rather than having a full ward-wide community board. But we've now got the opportunity to test how they go in the Te Puke Eastern and the Kaimai Community Board. So I really look forward to having the opportunity to engage with all those rural ratepayers that we didn't have the opportunity to participate with a community board. It's been a tough past 3 years. We had some challenging votes and discussions and decisions, very close. And we're not finished with that yet. We've still got some more difficult decisions ahead of us. So I look forward to working in a collaborative and collegial manner with my fellow councillors and community boards. And I'd just like to extend an invitation to any community board, whether it's in my ward or any other ward, if they want some help from a ward councillor or a Western Bay councillor. I'm happy to come and talk to you about how you might be able to get things done if you're struggling to do so. Anyway, that's enough from me. Thank you very much.
I'd now like to ask Graham Elvin to come and say his declaration, please.
Kia ora. I, Graham Elvin, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Western Bay of Plenty District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Western Bay of Plenty District Council. By virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Dated occurring this 5th day of November 2025. You got a sign above my name, James?
That's right.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much as well. So a few words, Graham.
Yeah, you'll soon get to know that Shane and I are on the opposite side of the spectrum. So, tēnā koutou, everybody. I want to wave this out to you and say, I know although it's an official piece of paper, I am not signing this piece of paper for the government. I'm not signing it for the staff. I'm signing it firstly in recognition of those people that I honour and trust that have gone before me. I want to honour my Maori heritage, my Jewish heritage, and my Scottish heritage. And I want to shout out the Judeo-Christian principles on which I was brought up. I also sign this for my children and my mokos. They are the ones that are still to come. So this declaration is merely wedging me between what's gone before and what's to follow. And I don't profess to be anything crash hot. I don't impress and say I'm going to do it other than my very, very best. That won't satisfy some of you. You're bloody hard to satisfy, a lot of you, but I will do my best. Now, to be remiss of me at this stage, not to give a shout out to my dad. He's turned 99 the other day. He's a great Te Puna man, as am I. He's currently got one foot in each camp. He's sort of ready to go, but I'm enjoying every minute that he's around. I also want to pay a special tribute to my wife. I won't say she pushed me into this. And I want to shout out to my son and daughter, Tom and Harriet are here, and their wives and husbands, respectively. I need to point out that my son is married to a woman and my daughter is married to a man, just in case there's any confusion around that. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge both Don and Murray, who stood in the Kaimai ward and missed out. And, maybe I cut their lunch, I don't know. What I do want to say is people who stand for council require a lot of courage. And I want to acknowledge the tremendous efforts that they certainly put in the Kaimai ward and say to them, if they have recovered enough to be watching, thanks very much, you guys, for the efforts you put in. At the other end, and she'll be a bit embarrassed by this, I want to especially acknowledge the courage of someone who I really admired on the campaign trail, and that was Destiny Leaf. You can ask me why I do later, but I want to acknowledge Destiny and say, well done for getting stuck in and having a go. Okay, that's my lot. I did want to, however, thank the staff who have been training me over the last few days and my fellow councillors who, as you'd expect with politicians, are never short of advice. And I've also decided that just to recognise a quote from a fellow called H.L. Mencken. It says, he was an American journalist from way back. He said, democracy is the art and science of running the circus from the monkey cage. I want to assure you, I am nobody's monkey, but I might just be a gorilla.
Thank you, Graham. Next up, I'd like to ask Rodney Joyce to say his declaration, please.
Kia ora. I, Rodney Joyce, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Western Bay of Plenty District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Western Bay of Plenty District Council. By virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act, dated at Tauranga this 5th day of November 2025. Thank you.
Just say a few words, Rodney.
Me? Sure.
A few,
A few words.
maybe emphasis on few.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a reputation. So the tie I'm wearing today is actually respectable. That's because my dad's tie. Dad was here 3 years ago, sitting over there watching, along with my brother, my partner Kay, who's busy working today, keeping the family going, and my little 1-year-old who's now 4. And as James found out in a recent citizenship ceremony, should not be taken anywhere. Enjoy it while you can, Sarah Jane, because it gets harder as they get noisier and more boisterous. Thank you to my family and whānau. You know, Graham stole my speech. You know, it is about where we've come from, but it's also about where we're going. And I said 3 years ago, you know, I want long-term decisions that are good for our children, our grandchildren and beyond. It won't surprise you that I might mention the word rates. The message that I've been giving for the past 4 years, I still firmly believe in. Te Puke's a tough crowd in particular. Social media in Te Puke is very special. But someone said to me, oh, after the election, you'll just hide everything that you've said. And I said, no, I won't. The stuff's still there from 3 years ago, mate. Just scroll down a bit. My message is the same. Yeah, we can only have a good community if we can afford it. And I think we've still got a bit of mahi to do. So kia ora, like the others, all of us, I'll do my best. I think we have the making of a very good team, as long as we work collaboratively together, all of us. Special tribute to Darlene, who's got one of the toughest jobs. We didn't quite get that referendum over the line. I'm sorry about that. But, you know, we're getting closer. And I'll particularly enjoy working with her. I'm already enjoying working with Darlene. And let's see what we can achieve over the next 3 years, all of us together. Thank you.
Laura Ray, your turn. Please come and say your declaration.
Thank you. Kia ora. I, Laura Ray, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Western Bay of Plenty District the powers, authorities, and duties vested in me or imposed upon me as a member of the Western Bay of Plenty District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002 and the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987 and any other act dated at Tauranga this 5th day of November 2025.
Just say a few words.
Yes. Firstly, I'd just like to really thank everybody for coming along today. Awesome turnout. I think we might have a little bit more than last year. Then my next acknowledgement would have to be to my whānau, to my dad in particular, who has always had my back from the moment I was born, and as you should as a parent. Also to my children who don't really like to hear anything about council business, but I think they're coming to like it. And then my only other thank you is obviously to the people. For me, it's always by the people, for the people, or the other way around. So just really like to acknowledge all the people. Thank you.
Lastly, but certainly not least, Councillor Alan Soul, please come up.
I, Alan Soul, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Western Bay of Plenty District the powers, authorities, duties that are vested in me. I'll go back. Authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Western Bay of Plenty District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act, dated at Tauranga this 5th day of November 2025.
Alan, would you like to say a few words?
What? First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Spielberg for this award. The wrong meeting, sorry. Look, I must thank my wife. Thank you so much, Margaret. She's my gatekeeper, my supporter, my feeder, my everything in my life. And she has been a solid supporter and makes it possible for me to even do this work and spend the time that I do in the community and doing things for the council jobs, etc. that I have. So that's my first one. I think then I've got to thank, I guess, the people in Karikariwaihi Beach, in particular, that voted. And first of all, they voted. That was a good start. And then those that voted for me, I look upon this as one of the things, they put some trust in me. And to me, one of the greatest things that I've ever been told by another person is it is greater to be trusted than to be loved. So I wish to make sure that I honour that trust over the next 3 years for all of you in the Western Bay. As far as the council is concerned, congratulations to James, our mayor, and to all my fellow councillors. It's a great team. I think we actually have the makings of one of the best councils in New Zealand. Maybe I should say the best, but that's what I see. We have people with great skills, great knowledge, and minds that are able to gather together and make decisions. The other ones I want to thank are those in the community also that stood for community boards. I'm a very strong advocate for community boards and always have been. And to me, that is where localism kicks off for us in the Western Bay. You are the people right there at the workplace in our communities, all right? We need to listen and follow and work with you as best we can. Like everything, you can't please all the people all the time, but you are part of our conscience as councillors. You're part of what helps make us work in this community, the Western Bay, to make it a great and successful area. And I just thank all those people that attended today. Thank you again. I look forward to the next 3 years.
Okay, so now we need to move to the other reports in the meeting. And the first item on pages 13 to 21 is the legislative advice for incoming elected members. And for this, I'll hand over to our CE, Miriam Terrace.
Thank you, Your Worship. Councillors and community board members, it now falls to me to speak to the agenda item regarding your legislative obligations. These obligations are fundamental to your role as councillors and are your baseline for directing me as your Chief Executive to manage council operations in line with the policy and directions you set. If you have any questions or concerns in relation to legislation impacting on the activities of council and your role, please raise these directly with me as soon as they arise. The key statutes include the Local Government Act 2002. This act is the principal empowering legislation for local authorities and defines the purpose of local government and the role of local authorities. The other acts that I'm going to mention today are the Local Government Official Information and Meeting Act. This act requires, including local authorities, to maintain transparency and availability in relation to the information they hold and to promote the open and public transaction of business at meetings, to enable better participation by the public in the actions of and decisions made by agencies, and to increase accountability. As you will note, all information held by council, including that produced or held by elected members within the requirements of their role, falls within the scope of this Act and may be requested for public purposes. Local Authority Members' Interest Act 1968. This Act regulates the conduct of elected members in situations where there is or there could be a conflict of interest between their duties as an elected member and their interests. An elected member and their spouse or partner cannot hold or have an interest in contracts with council with a value of $25,000 or more per year, for some caveats. A few other key legislation that I just mentioned is the Crimes Act 1961. This obviously outlined penalties for officials who accept bribes or agree to accept bribes, and I'm sure we won't have that case, but I have to raise it with you. The Secret Commissions Act, and this act states that an agent, a term which includes elected members of a local authority, must not give or receive gifts or inducements to do or not do things in relation to the business of the council. Now, the Financial Markets Conduct Act 2013, this act essentially places elected members in the same position as a company director whenever the council offers financial products, which this council does not do. Health and Safety at Work Act 2015. This is an important act. This act requires the person conducting a business or undertaking, a PCBU, i.e. the council, to ensure as far as reasonably practicable the safety of workers and others who may be impacted by the work the business undertakes. Elected members are defined as officers under the Act and have obligations of due diligence. However, elected members, unlike the Chief Executive, are exempt from being prosecuted for a failure. Privacy Act 2020. The Privacy Act outlines principles that must be followed by any agency and by association any representative of that agency in relation to personal information. The Act also provides for complaints to be made to the Privacy Commissioner and outlines how these will be addressed. and I'm sure the councillors will become familiar with this act over time. That concludes my summary of key legislation, Your Worship.
Thank you, Miriam. So there are two recommendations here. Firstly, to receive the report, and secondly, for elected members to note the requirements and disclose and update any personal or financial interest that may conflict with their role as an elected member. Are you seeking to move that? Councillor Joyce, is there a seconder for that? Councillor Daly, I presume we're not going to debate this one, so I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. So moving on to item 9.4 on page 22, which is the appointment of the deputy mayor for this triennium. Now, it's been well publicised already that I have appointed Councillor Margaret Murray-Benge as my deputy. She is a long-serving councillor. I value her experience, and I'm sure she'll do a good job for me and our council. So I'd like to move that firstly, the report is received, and secondly, that council acknowledges that appointment. Do I have a seconder, please? Councillor Sol, put the motion. All in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. And next up, it's the appointment of councillors to community boards for this triennium, and this is on page 23. So we have 5 community boards: Waihi Beach Community Board, Katikati Community Board, Waka Kaimai Community Board, Te Puke Eastern Community Board, and Makatu Community Board. And so after discussion and consideration, we have I've suggested the following appointments to those community boards: Councillor Alan Sol to Waihi Beach, Councillor Rodney Joyce to Katikati, Councillor Tracy Coxhead and Deputy Mayor Margaret Murray-Benge to Waka Kaimai, Councillors Grant Daly and Laura Ray to Te Puke Eastern, and Councillor Shane Beach to Makatu. So would someone like to move the two recommendations we have there, please? Councillor Beach, is there a seconder? Councillor Ray, is there any debate? No, I'll put the motion. All in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. Last item for us to deal with at the council meeting. The community board meetings come just after this, but for this council meeting, the last item is to set the date of first business meeting of the Western Bay of Plenty District Council. I'm going to ask Miriam just to explain this. It's slightly unusual, this situation, in that we've got our first business meeting is on the 25th, but we've got another meeting to do up front. So Miriam, would you like to just say a few words on that?
Yes, the first actual business meeting of council is the 25th of November. However, since the election period, we've also been required to have a meeting with council, which is not extraordinary, but is in addition to that, before the 25th of November, in relation to some decisions around local waters done well and about membership of a subcommittee. So we need to hold that to make sure that the process for local waters done well, we actually are in time for that for the end of the year. So we're working backwards. So there will be a specific meeting on local waters done well for the council on the 14th of November, but the actual business, standard business of council kicks off on the 25th.
Thank you, Miriam. So there are 3 recommendations there. Do I have a mover and seconder for those recommendations, please? Councillor Sol, Councillor Joyce. I'll put the motion. All in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. So that brings us to the end of the council meeting at 1:46. Thank you very much, everyone. And we'll now move on to the community board meetings. So I'll now invite the Katikati Community Board members, including Councillor Joyce, to join Miriam at the table over there for their inaugural meeting. Yep. It's not going to take that long.
Take a jacket off.
You take Joy up.
Oh, we're community board. Don't require ties and jackets. Oh, cool.
So welcome members to the Katikati Community Board inaugural meeting. This will be one of the 5 community board meetings, so they will run in the same format. So we're kicking off basically in alphabetical order. So first things first, I declare the Katikati Community Board inaugural meeting open. Present, the following community board members are in attendance: Anne Henry, Norm Mayo, James Sayer, and Councillor Rodney Joyce. I have an apology from John Clements. Do I have a mover seconder to accept that apology?
Yes.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Yep. So it was Mayo and Joyce. Sorry. Consideration of late items. There are no late items. Declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest? There being no declarations of interest, we move on to public forum question. Are there no public forum speakers? There are no public forum speakers. So now we move to the declarations for the community board members. And the first order of business is that the members take their declaration jointly. And if you could please stand to make and attest the declaration in front of you all together.
You're going to count us in.
I thought, yeah, you do it to rhythm.
Off you go.
I, Anne Henry,
James Sayer,
declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Katikati community the powers, the authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Katikati Community Board by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information Act, Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Dated at Tarawera on the 5th day of November 2025.
Congratulations. I'll just witness the signatures, thanks.
There you go.
I've got a pen. Do you want to sign both copies?
Oh, both.
You have 2 versions, one's for keeps and one's for a record. And you can keep your version of that if you would like. Has everyone signed? Right. Thank you. Thank you, members. I'm just moving to the report item number 8.2, legislative advice for incoming elected members. Given that you were listening to the previous council meeting, I've taken it as read and called for a mover and seconder to the recommendations in 1 to 4 on that report. Oh, 2 recommendations, sorry, that the governance manager's report is received and that Katikati Community Board members note the requirements to disclose and update any personal or financial interests that may conflict with their role as an elected member. Moved by Henry, seconded Sayer. I declare it carried. The next report and item on the agenda is the election of the chairperson. First thing I would ask there is the call for a mover seconder to receive the report. Joyce and Henry, and declare that carried. I call for a mover and a seconder to adopt either System A or System B for voting. Would you like the explanation of this?
Yes.
System A is when the election is successful if someone has an absolute majority. So if there's more than one nomination, there's an initial round of voting. If there's not an absolute majority at that point, the lowest polling candidate drops out, and it goes to a second round of voting and on until we have an absolute majority of 3. The System B is 1 round of voting. Whoever has the most votes is successful.
Fairly straightforward, System A. So do I have a mover and a seconder for either system, please?
System B.
Second that.
Seconded by- Okay, I declare that carried. And
Nominations.
call for nominations for the chair of the community board.
Nominate.
Member Sayer has been nominated and seconded. Do I have any other nominations? There being only one nomination, then I will put the recommendation to a vote that Member Sayer is elected as the chairperson of the Katikati Community Board. Do I have a mover and seconder?
You do.
Okay, and declare carried. So congratulations. Few more items. Election of the deputy chairperson of the Katikati Community Board. It's the same process. So I call for a mover and a seconder to receive the report.
I'll do that.
Joyce and Mayo declared carried, and call for a mover and a seconder to adopt either system A or system B for voting.
System B.
System B, Sayer, Henry. And so I declared system B as the voting system and declare that carried. And so then I ask, is there a nomination for the deputy chair of the Katikati Community Board?
Nominate. I'll take that.
Are there any other nominations for the deputy? There be no other nominations, then I declare that Member Henry is the deputy chair of the Katikati Community Board, and congratulations. And finally, on to the date of the first business meeting. So this is report number 8.5 of the Katikati Community Board for the 25-28 triennium. And a call for a mover and a seconder for recommendations 1 and 2, being that the first business meeting of the Community Board is proposed to be the 11th of February 2026, obviously with workshops and some other meetings, but not a formal business meeting before the end of the calendar year. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Henry and Sayer. So I declared that carried. With that being, I also I declare the meeting closed and welcome you to council. Thank you.
Okay, I will now invite the Makatu Community Board members, including Councillor Beach, to join Miriam at the table to commence their inaugural meeting.
Welcome everyone today to I declare the Makatu Community Board inaugural meeting open. Present today are the Community Board members in attendance: Alicia Waterhouse, Cecil Thomas, Wena Moko, Sue Elliott, and Councillor Shane Beach. And welcome to the table, everyone. Are there any apologies? There are no apologies. Are there any late items? I do not have any late items. Are there any declarations of interest? No declarations of interest. And are there any public forum speakers? There have been no public forum speakers. I move to the declarations for the inaugural meeting. So the first order of business is the declaration by community board members. And could the community board members please stand? Oh, sorry. Would anyone like to attest? You're happy to go in English? Can if you wanted to go separately. Okay. Could the community board members please stand to make and attest the declaration in front of you?
Well, I, Wainam Mo, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of Maketu community the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Maketu Community Board by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act, Te Tere Tauranga, this 5th day of November 2025.
Congratulations.
One for us, one for me.
Which one goes to who?
We'll just pass it.
Okay.
Vanilla will sort them out.
You'll get your copy back.
Yeah.
So you good? Oh, one more. Every member has signed. So we now move to report item number 8.2, legislative advice for incoming elected members. Once again, I have summarised that as part of the council meeting, so I will take it as read and call for a mover and seconder for recommendations 1 and 2. 2 being that Maketu Community Board members note the requirements to disclose and update any personal or financial interests that may conflict with their role as an elected member. Do I have a mover and a seconder, please? Yep. Mover Elliott, seconder Waterhouse. I declare that carried. Report item 8.3, election of chairperson of Maketu Community Board. I call for a mover and seconder to receive the report. Mover Elliott, seconder Beach. Declared that carried. Now I call for a mover and a seconder to adopt either voting system A or voting system B. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Do you need any more clarification?
Yes.
Yes.
Voting system A works the successful person to be elected needs an absolute majority, so needs a clear majority of 3. So if there's more than one nomination, do a first round of voting. If there's no clear majority at that stage, the lowest polling candidate drops out, and then it's go to the next round of voting until one candidate has an absolute majority, so has 3. System B is effectively first past the post, 1 round of voting, whoever, if there is more than one nomination, 1 round of voting, and whichever candidate has the most votes is the successful candidate.
So councillors, generally system A works well where you've got a number of candidates. System B is where you don't have many, which is in this case, but you have that choice.
We can have a mover and seconder for one of those options.
I move for B.
And the seconder for that.
Yes.
Thank you.
So that's Wena and Cecil. Thank you. I declared that carried. So system B. So in that situation, I will now call for nominations for the chairperson of the Maketu Community Board. Sue Elliott has been nominated. Do I have any other nominations? Alicia Waterhouse has nominated herself. Do I have any other nominations? Okay, there have been two nominations. I will now put the nominations to a vote. Please raise your hand if you vote for Sue Elliott.
You can vote for
yes.
whoever you feel.
Okay, so I have 3 votes for that. Can I have those votes recorded? 4. By virtue of the 4 nominations, Alicia Sue is successful as the chairperson of the community board. So congratulations, Sue. Yes, that the Makatu Community Board elects Sue Elliott as the chairperson of the Makatu Community Board. Can I have a mover and a seconder in this situation, please? I declare that carried. Chair. Yeah, in terms of the next item, report item 8.4, same process, election of the deputy chairperson. I call for a mover seconder to receive the report. I have a Waterhouse and Elliott. Declare that carried. I call for a mover or seconder to adopt System A or System B for voting. I have again Waterhouse and Elliott. I declare that carried. Okay, I will now call for nominations for the Deputy Chairperson of the Makatu Community Board. Have I got a nomination? Alicia Waterhouse has been nominated. Do I have any other nominations? There have been only one nomination. Then I declare that Alicia Waterhouse of the Community Board is elected as the Deputy Chairperson of the Community Board. Do I have a mover and seconder for this recommendation? Got that, Robin? Declared that carried. Congratulations. Moving on to report number 8.5, date of the first business meeting of the Makatu Community Board for the 25-28 triennium. I call for a move and a seconder for recommendations 1 and 2, noting in recommendation 2 that the first business meeting of the council will be the 24th of February 2026. Have mover and Elliott, a seconder in Waterhouse. I declare that carried. Thank you, members. I now declare the meeting closed. Thank you. Yes. Well done.
I'll now invite the Inaugural Kaimai Community Board members to join Miriam at the table to commence their inaugural meeting.
You've seen the process. Welcome everyone and congratulations for being on the community board. You obviously understand the order of events are exactly the same as the previous two. So I declare the Inaugural Kaimai Community Board inaugural meeting open. Present, the following community board members are in attendance: Chris Deva, Murray Marshall, Tina Akuhata, Tania Tuhakaraina, Bevan Rakoya and Keith Wisniewski. Apologies. There is an apology from Councillor Tracy Coxhead and Deputy Mayor Margaret Murray-Bench. Do I have a mover seconder to accept the apologies? Marshall and Akuhata. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Declare that carried. Consideration of late items. There are no late items. Declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest? There have been no declarations of interest. My question now is a public forum. Are there any public forum speakers? There are no public forum speakers, so we move to the declarations for the members of the community board. The first order of business is a declaration by community board members, and could the community board members please stand to make and attest the declaration in front of you as a group.
I, President declare that I will faithfully and impartially and in accordance with my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of my community. The powers and authorities and duties vested in me or imposed upon me as a member of the Inaugural Community Board. By virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information Act 1987, or any other act, dated at Tauranga, the 5th day of November 2025.
Congratulations. You need to sign both copies. There's one for us and one for you, and then we'll pass them to our Chief Executive to witness. Thank you. Let's do that. Very efficient, this group.
You got just in action.
It's like you're racing to meet. It's obvious. We'll have it now. And the last one. Thank you. Right, with the declarations being completed, we now move to report item 8.2, legislative advice for incoming elected members. As previously noted, I have summarised that in the previous council meeting, so I'm going to take it as read for this report and call for a mover and seconder for recommendations 1 and 2. Debra, Marshall. I declare that carried. Election of chairperson, report number 8.3. Call for a mover seconder to receive the report. Marshall, Debra. Declare that carried. I call for a mover and a seconder to either adopt system A or system B for voting. System B. So Akuhata and Debra. So declare, all in favour? Yeah, declare that carried. Right. So I will now call for nominations for election of the chairperson for the Inaugural Community Board. I have a nomination as Chris Dever. Do I have any other nominations? Nice and easy. There being only one nomination, then I will put the recommendation to a vote that Chris Dever of the Inaugural Community Board is elected as the chairperson of the community board. Do I have a mover and a seconder?
Second.
All of those in favour? Those against? Carried. I declare that carried. Congratulations. The same process now for the deputy chairperson. Report item 8.4. I think that's 8.4. Is that right? Yes. Okay. A call for a mover and seconder to receive the report. Deva and Marshall, are you busy? And a mover and a seconder. System B. System B for Marshall and anyone else? And Deva. So all in favour for that, please?
Aye.
I declare that carried. Okay. Okay, now call for nominations for the deputy. I have a nomination for Bevan Rakoya. My apologies. Do I have any other nominations? There have been only one nomination, and then I put the recommendations to a vote that Bevan Rakoya is elected as the deputy chairperson of the Omokoroa Kaimai Community Board. Do I have a mover and seconder? Second. Those. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? I declare that carried. Congratulations. The last item is report item number 8.5, which is the date of the first business meeting of the Inaugural Kaimai Community Board for the 25-28 triennium. Call for a mover and seconder for recommendations 1 and 2, noting in recommendation 2, the first business meeting is proposed to be the 17th of February 2026. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Got that? 2 different people this time. It's page 20. No, yes.
With the anticipation of workshops before that.
Yes, so you will be meeting before that, but the official business meeting will kick off in February. Do we got a mover and a seconder? Do we have a vote? All those in favour? Against? I declare that carried. So I declare the meeting closed. Thank you very much.
I'll now invite the Te Puke Eastern Community Board members, including councillors Daly and Ray, to join Miriam at the table and have their inaugural meeting.
Welcome everyone and congratulations for being elected as a member of the Community Board. As the previous Community Board inaugural meetings, I declare the Te Puke Eastern Community Board inaugural meeting open, and I note present is following Community Board members: Dale Snell, Karen Summerhays, Marara Williams, Sally Bennings, Mamba Singh Mann, Councillor Grant Daly and Councillor Laura Ray. Are there any apologies? No apologies. Are there any late items? No late items. Are there any declarations of interest, members? Anyone got any declarations? There are no declarations and there are no public forum speakers. So we move to the declarations for the Community Board members, and the first order of business is for the declaration by the Community Board members. And could the Community Board members please stand to make and attest the declaration in front of you?
I, Sally Bennings, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Te Puke Eastern community the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed on me as a member of the Te Puke Eastern Community Board. By virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act dated at Tauranga, this 5th day of November 2025.
Congratulations.
Each of you can sign. There's 2 copies, one for you.
Yes,
for
we're
us,
just signing them now.
and then pass them around so the CEO can witness. Thank you.
Right, I think that's everyone. Right, so we now move to report number 8.2, elected members' legislative obligations. As previously noted, I did summarise your key legislative requirements, so I'm going to take this report as read, and so I require a mover and seconder for recommendations 1 and 2. Summerhays and Snell. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Report number 8.3, election of chairperson for the Te Puke Eastern Community Board. I call for a mover and seconder to receive the report. Ray and Snell. All those in favour? Peg carried. I now call for a mover seconder to adopt either system A or system B for voting. B, Summerhays and Snell. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Okay. I now call for nominations for the Te Puke Eastern Community Board. As chair. Yeah. Dale Snell is a nomination. Do I have any other nominations? There being only one nomination, I will put the recommendation to a vote that Dale Snell is elected as a community board member as chairperson of the Te Puke Eastern Community Board. All those in favour? Against? Oh, do I have to move? Yeah. All in favour? Against? Carried. I declare that carried. Congratulations. You're moving at pace, council members. You're getting ahead of me. Okay, report number 8.4, election of deputy chairperson. The same process again. A call for a mover seconder to receive the report. Singh and Snell. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Call for a mover seconder to adopt either system A or system B for voting.
System B.
Singh and Summerhays. All those in favour? Carried. I declare that carried. Okay, now I call for nominations for the deputy chairperson of the community board.
I nominate Sally Benning.
So we have a nomination. Have we got any further nominations other than Sally Bennings? There being one nomination, I will put the recommendation to the vote that the Te Puke Eastern Community Board elects Sally Bennings as the deputy chairperson of the community board. All those in favour? Against? Carried. And the last item is report item number 8.5, dated the first business meeting of the Te Puke Eastern Community Board for the 25-28 triennium, noting recommendations 1 and 2. That recommendation 2, first business meeting is the 12th of February 2026. Can I have a mover and a seconder for those, please? Singh and Snell. All those in favour? Against? Carried. I declare the meeting closed. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, and the final community board, Waihi Beach Community Board, I now invite you to, including Councillor Sol, to come up and join Miriam for your inaugural meeting.
Last but not least.
Be fast than the other guys. Just to prove
We're getting faster, more efficient. Yes. So welcome everyone and congratulations on being elected to the community board. Obviously, you know the run sheet as we go, but we will kick off. I declare the Waihi Beach Community Board inaugural meeting open. The following community board members are in attendance: Wayne Stevenson, Heather Guptill, Gail Kelly, Ross Gowdy, and Councillor Alan Soul. Are there any apologies? No apologies. There are no late items. Are there any declarations of interest? No declarations of interest, and there are no public forum speakers. Therefore, we move to the declarations themselves. And the first order of business is the declaration by community board members. Could the community board members please stand to make and attest the declaration in front of you?
I, Councillor, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interest of the wider community the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Waihi Beach Community Board by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information Meetings Act 1987, and any other act. Dated the Tauranga, the 5th day of November 2025.
Sign copies, please, and pass them around so our CE can witness them.
I don't think we'd make it.
Community boards are already operating very efficiently. Thank you, everyone. So now we will move on to report number 8.2, legislative advice for incoming elected members. Once again, I will take this report as read, given you had a previous briefing in the council meeting. Can I ask for a mover and seconder for recommendations 1 and 2? Which is Kelly and Guptill, is that correct? All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Report number 8.3, election of chairperson for the Waihi Beach Community Board. I call for a mover and a seconder to receive the report. Move. Gowdy and Sol. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. I now call for a mover seconder to adopt System A or System B for voting. Kelly and Guptill. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. So the important point now is I will now call for nominations for the Waihi Beach Community Board chairperson. To elect Wayne Stevenson. Wayne Stevenson has been nominated and has been seconded by member Guptill. Do I have any other nominations? Okay. As there are no more nominations, I will put the recommendation to a vote that the Waihi Beach Community Board elects Wayne Stevenson as the chairperson of the Waihi Beach Community Board. Do I have a mover and seconder for the rest? Oh, Kelly, sorry. All those in favour? Right. Against? Carried. Congratulations. And the same process for report number 8.4, election of deputy chairperson of the Waihi Beach Community Board. I call for a mover and seconder to receive the report. Stevenson? And Guptill. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. I call for a mover seconder to adopt System A or System B for voting. Guptill and Kelly. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Now, I will now call for a nomination for the deputy chairperson of the Waihi Beach Community Board. Gail Kelly has been nominated by member Guptill and seconded by councillor member Gowdy. It's a bit of history there. There's a bit of history there. Okay. Are there any further nominations? As there is only one nomination, I will put the recommendation to a vote that the Waihi Beach Community Board elects Gail Kelly as the deputy chairperson of the Waihi Beach Community Board. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Congratulations. Come to the final report for this meeting, report number 8.5, date of the first business meeting of the Waihi Beach Community Board for the 2025-2028 triennium. the recommendations 1 and 2, just noting that the first business meeting is the 23rd of February 2026. Can I call for a mover and seconder for these recommendations? Stevenson and Guptill. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Congratulations, everyone, and I now declare the meeting closed. Thank you very much.
So that brings us to the end of the formal part of today. I want to thank all our guests for attending. Before I ask Chris to close with Karakia Whakamitanga, I want to say thank you again, invite you to have some kai in the room over there. And also, I understand that photographs will be taken for elected members, so please don't rush off and we'll get your photographs taken first. Okay, so thank you very much. Chris, would you like to close us out, please?
Tēnā koe e te koromatua. Anō hoki te mihi atu ki te ātāhua o tēnei rangi. Tēnei rangi whakanui ai a koutou I eke ki taumata kē, hei kanohi, hei māngai mā tātou. Rū ana te whare I runga I te reo haka o te aroa waka nō reira tēnei ka mihi atu kia koutou. O tira kia tātou katoa, nōku te honore te whakakapi tō tātou hui I runga I te karakia nō reira. Kua tai ki te utinga o tēnei kaupapa, kia whakairia te tapu o ngā kōrero, kia tūriki whakataha ai, kia tūriki whakataha ai, haumi e, hui e, tāe ki e, kia ora.